Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
No. We'll talk about that one.
Terrible idea.
What's up?
What is up, everybody?
Excuse me. Happy Monday. Happy Monday evening.
Yeah. We are in separate locations, of course. Had a little internet scare earlier. Internet over here went out at 4:45-ish or whatever, and then I came down here and fiddled with all the equipment, and there wasn't any outages listed or anything. And we've actually had this equipment for about 3 or 4 years, and normally it doesn't last much longer than that. And so I didn't know whether it was the service or our equipment. And so I told Jonathan and said, well, let's just plan on, I can always tether my laptop to my phone or do something like that. But it may be rigged. So he just went ahead and stayed home just in case. And the internet came on about a half hour ago. So
we're off and rolling.
Yeah, we are good to go. Of course, that means we get to drink whiskey tonight.
I have Blanton single barrel malt whiskey in here.
Yeah.
A birthday gift for my parents. Thank you. If you're watching.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to snag some of that before you drink it all.
Oh, it's good. Saved it for
I
a
have to
special
get some of my own.
It is good. Yes, I will gladly share. It's worth it.
Angel got me a bottle of Blue Note Juke Joint whiskey. I've never heard of such a thing, but it was on sale for $20 a bottle at Vern's last week over the weekend, and it's solid.
What does it say? Is it pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
It's a little kind of it's a different flavor. I can't really tell you what it reminds me of. It's more like it's like something like a Knob Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. It's not quite as sharp or spicy as Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite have that flavor, but it's very kind of Knob Creek-ish.
That's a solid whiskey, then. If it tastes anything like Knob Creek, I like Knob Creek and Maker's Mark. I really all the above.
Yep, it's just a straight bourbon whiskey, so
sweet.
Good stuff.
Sorry for the pivot, guys, and we're not together. We can still go down rabbit trails without being in person.
Yep.
So I'm assuming everybody can hear me okay?
Yep. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Put this on. Months IPA from McElhaney Brewing in Alpine, California. I've got something down in there I might grab a little bit later here, but
what, an IPA?
No, I've got those 2 Oktoberfests and a Guinness and then some weird stuff. That I was going to have weird beers tonight. I've still got a Hershey's Yingling that's in there. Mr. Bill sent the peanut butter milk stout that was in there, and then one of those however many years of sun things with the whatever that have been in there for for years. So, whoa.
Oh, there's a $5 in there.
I don't even know what a shoey is.
So a shoey is where you chug a beer out of a shoe.
Oh.
There's a guy in the UFC. I can't think of his name. He just fought the other night, and he actually got knocked out in like 45 seconds. But if he wins, he always walks back and chugs beer session.
I don't know that I really have a shoe that I'd want to ruin. But for $100, I could buy me a new pair of shoes.
James, before we get kicked off there, he did just drop in $4.99 there for it. Ann asked a question.
Yeah.
I can start with that if you want.
Yep, we'll do that. Not on topic. Random question. Who's your favorite pro? PBA, PWBA, past or present, to watch, and least favorite? Uh-oh. He's pulling a Waswo on us.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to answer this, though. I don't give a heck.
Favorite for me is, if I'm going to go like all time, I've always been a Chris Barnes fan. Mm-hmm. I was just, even as a kid, Chris Barnes was somebody I looked up to. I just loved his game. And he just, to me, when I was growing up, he was the best player in the world. I mean, He also choked more on TV than anybody else in the world too at the time. But you know what? He was there all the time, so it was just so much fun to watch. And all the tricks he has in his bag is just unreal.
Yeah, he figured his mental game out. But yeah, that's the thing is, to be able to choke on TV, you've got to be on TV. So exactly. I would 100% take choking on TV versus not being on TV. So it's a whole lot more lucrative. Whoa, Mr. Bill says shoey offer goes for Haas too.
Well, I tell you what, I'd make this show pretty famous pretty quick.
Yeah.
People start finding out I'm doing shoeys on this show.
Yeah.
Oh, but I would do it. It's so hard to want to ruin a pair of my shoes, though. But so who's your least favorite? You didn't answer that one.
Even though Elf shoes only. Yeah, you got to answer first because I'm still thinking about who my favorite is.
I mean, Billy, honestly, Brad is my current favorite because he's one of my good friends. But I was thinking more of an all-time thing. I don't really have somebody. Patrick Allen. Yeah. I was never a Patrick Allen fan. I thought he was obnoxious. Yeah. And he also, like the early 2000s, made every freaking TV show. Back when the lefties actually had something on tour.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be it's going to have to be Patrick Allen. Like the time, I don't remember if it was Mika that 10-pinned or something laid on him. And he stood up in the crowd and he's like, yeah, I told you. I don't remember what show that was. But I was like, really, dude? Settle down.
Yeah.
Good gosh. What about you?
Oh, God. I've got to think because it's tough figuring out like all time who your favorite is.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite shows, and so I'm probably going to pick one from this. My favorite shows were again the arena finals.
Oh yeah,
back when they had the Randy Peterson's infamous moment. Bob Learn had the 1050 or whatever he shot it at 850 or whatever it was 1100 or something.
Tom Baker getting an exemption. Yep.
Those were just some of the greatest shows ever, period. And it might not be a popular pick, but Mike Edwards. I liked watching him back when those solid color balls, whatever they were, whether there was a pulse or a surge or whatever else, just watching him throw those solid color polished balls in the arena finals. Mm-hmm. And I just could just eat that up. Of course, another one is, Frankie's pretty classic. It's hard to not like watching Frankie, but I don't know. Mike Edwards didn't have he won a few titles, but I don't know.
Mike Edwards is one heck of a guy too. By the way.
Yeah. I just like watching him. So
he was pretty strong on the regional side of things too. He won quite a bit on the regional side, but he was actually in my region, so I get to see him quite a bit because he's just down in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw him quite a bit when I bowled. But yeah, he's one super super nice guy. I'm probably gonna get a message after this saying I said something wrong.
Yeah.
$2 Phil Brylo already gave me some love. That told me.
Oh yeah. I don't know. The one I always had trouble watching was Ryan Schaefer.
Yeah,
he always seemed angry, and it was just kind of a negative downer. And coming from somebody that's a negative downer, God, he really just drove it. I don't know. He just always seemed like he was completely miserable, and it just wasn't a whole lot of fun to watch.
Check out some of Ryan Schaefer back when he first started on tour, like the first couple of telecasts.
I saw some shots.
So much different.
Yeah, he really wound it up.
He always looked like he's muscling the crap out of it, or is it just me?
Joey Pants is another good one.
Yeah,
he's just obnoxious,
and he doesn't really bowl the tournament anymore, does he?
Yeah.
I don't know if he does or not. I saw somebody else also asking here earlier about the streaming service. Yes, I'm actually excited it's all in one place.
Yeah, I was going to put that back on and talk about that for a minute because we got an update from Wriggles on 11thframe.com earlier.
I'm curious to hear some of your shop talk tonight too, because I always like to hear some of the stories of customers and customer horror experiences, etc. So
yeah, and even on from your side, I'm sure that you've got plenty of good stories of pro shop issues. Oh, yeah. Everybody's got stories.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're going like PWBA to add to this, I really like watching Cara Honeychurch.
Yeah,
way back when, the lefty from Australia.
Yeah.
I like because she just had that simple classic game that just kind of put it right down the side. And
Yep. She sure did.
of course, Carolyn Doran Ballard is.
Oh yeah, you can't. That's a classic. You can't go wrong with that.
Up
I mean,
there.
I was fortunate enough too that I got to grow up bowling because I'm from Kansas City. I got to grow up bowling with Shannon Sellens, so I got to watch her a lot. She used to actually date Mike Soroka, so like I said, I grew up seeing her bowl quite a bit. So even before college, like because she went to Wichita State for a little bit. I don't think she went her full career, the 4 years, but man, girl's talented. She throws it so good.
Yeah, Shannon, she's a freaking beast. It'd be
She
nice
is,
to see.
Yep.
As far as one that I don't like to watch, I'd have to think about that a little bit more because there's not really many of the women that you can think of that are like obnoxious or that's one of those things. It would be one of those where you just don't like watching their form or something.
That's what it is. And there's one I can think of, and I can't think of her name. Oh, that's going to frustrate me. We'll just keep going, and I'll just throw it out there randomly.
Yeah, well, if we ever, we'll come back to it if we ever figure it out. So yeah, I'll go back and we'll hit up what Nico said here. You glad bowling is in one streaming service? Yes, because the price fits. It's like $120 for the year, which isn't bad because we were paying $30 a month for Flow, and like $80 a year for $5-6 a month for Bowl TV, and so this is going to be basically $10 a month if you get the year long thing. It's going to be $10 a month for everything,
which is a great price for me.
The bowlers win.
Yep.
It's all in the same place, so you don't have to have two different services. And having the two different services, the women's tour is only on for like 3 months. Yeah. The men's tour is only going to be on. They're going to be on longer this year for like 5 months or something. But it's like that's the other thing is that you're paying like $300 and some odd a month or a year for Flow, and you're only having stuff to watch less than half the year.
The only nice part about Flow though is Flow has other sports though. They do like basketball, or racing, stuff like that. So you're paying the Flow price, but you're also getting all their other stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's why it was so expensive. But
yeah, the thing is though, there was a lot of bowlers that probably they just wanted the bowling and they didn't want any of the other stuff.
I'm like that too. Now I did luckily get to use Flow for, I want to say it was like a Missouri game. I watched one of the basketball games where they're playing like a preseason tournament, and it happened to be on Flow, so I was able to catch it. But it was not like they were giving us great service, anyways.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, it's a catch-22 with that because with a bowling service, you're not going to have enough funds to really invest in what they needed to invest on and have cameras on every pair and have commentators and people doing all that. It's a whole lot bigger production than people realize. It's not you just kind of go in there. Once you set all that stuff up, then you have to connect it all. You've got to sync it all. You've got to, figure out how to switch, to get each different stream on so that people can select different cameras and whatever else. And it's a whole lot. I mean, it's a freaking nightmare just to set this up sometimes. I mean, once we get it set up and going, but to set up and tear down somewhere else just for this little dinky camera for us to do this show, or when I was doing the bowler show with Dave, and we would occasionally go to Belton or something and set up in there. It's just all kinds of stuff to set up just for that little show, let alone something huge like that. And then
I'm remote, and I've got 2 computers going, cords everywhere, microphones, lights. It's just sitting here talking to you.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
so to have the kind of quality that people want to see, you got to have the subscriber base paying the money so that they can afford to set up the kind of quality that people want to see. And so at the same time, you don't want to pay if you don't feel like you're getting your money's worth. Right. But to get your money's worth, you got to subscribe and pay so that they have the money to give you your money's worth.
Yeah. I'm just really hoping that Bowl TV finally gives us some watchable streams. Like some of their streams are god awful. I'm hoping with the up price and then getting the PBA, I'm really hoping that the streaming the streaming will be better. Like maybe they'll invest in some better cameras or something. It's just when you get a mobile app, So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's big news because instead of having to hook your laptop up to the TV, you can just get into the app and cast it to your TV.
Yep, and that's one thing I really liked about Flow is I was able to do that. Full TV, it was just too much of a hassle for me to have to take an HDMI cord, hop on a ladder because my HTV's up so high, plug it in, and plug it into my computer and watch it that way. So it's that is a win for me.
Yeah. So I think that's better. Say what?
I'm sure you're excited about it too.
Yeah, because again, I mean, it's one service. We already canceled Flow.
Yep.
We already have this. We already have the thing to Bold TV, and they also did say that if you sign up before the end of the year, the 2023 season's only $100 for the season. It'll go up to $120 when you renew for 2024. So if you do sign up before the end of the year, then it's only $100.
Perfect.
Which is
they're going to get started with the PBA because the PBA starts the end of January, I think. So I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. I'm really curious too to find out who's going to be like the announcers each week. Because they said that I'm sure they're going to rotate them in and out. I'm sure Flanagan will do some of it.
Yeah.
Because he already had that partnership with Bull TV. You're probably going to get the guy that does Emil. I bet Emil does some of it. I don't know if does he still work for the PBA or the USBC?
I think so.
Okay. I know he's also got his own business that he streams.
Yeah, he's been working on his own thing, and I think that he's cast it to Bowl TV a couple times.
Okay, so they have a partnership.
He's done some kind of something before.
Okay. But I'm sure that they'll use like him. Flanagan will probably join because he was doing the PBA 50 stuff, and I just hope that we get some good announcers in there because sometimes on the Flow streams were just awful. Phil Brylow was who I tuned in to listen to anyways back then. He was great. He was always informative.
Yeah.
So, who's the guy that was doing the World Series here last year and the year before? I can't think of his name. Is it Dave Lamont?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah.
If Dave Lamont watches this, I didn't think it would happen last time. I'm sorry. I'm not bagging you. I promise. It's just,
yeah.
Well, I've got my favorites.
What's tough for him and Dave and guys like Dave Ryan, Joe Buck, whatever else, and he explained we had him on the Bowler Show, and he kind of explained it that his job is to kind of set it up for the analyst. He's like, I obviously don't know everything about bowling, so nobody wants to really hear me. And so he's just trying to keep the show structured and go in and out of commercials and keep a flow to things. And then, and so, it helps when you have two people that are experienced, but at the same time, then it gives the analyst a chance to explain things to the color commentary. And so, it's one of those kind of thankless jobs because Joe Buck really does a good job running the show, but nobody can stand him.
He does, though. You're not wrong.
Yeah, he does. And that's the thing is if you just look at it from just being clean, professional, in and out of commercials, passing it here, just managing. And I've done it before. I co-hosted some collegiate thing for ESPN, the Ocho or whatever, 3 or 4 years ago.
ESPN 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think whatever was the college one that was on the internet, and you got earpieces then, or you've got the headset on, and the producers are constantly telling you things. They're constantly talking. I don't know how many times where a producer started talking. I was in the middle of saying something, and the producer started talking. And I just stopped so I could listen. It's like you have to keep talking, and you have to maintain, coherent language, which I'm not that great at anyway. And then try to listen to what everybody else is saying and saying, okay, 30 seconds to commercial or, whatever else, or we're going to pop this graphic up or so it's harder than people think it is.
Oh, I can't imagine how hard that would be. Just being able to sit and still have to understand what they're saying, but still talking at the same time. That'd be tough.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And there's some guys though that are just so good at it.
But and then there's some that are just kind of lifeless and annoying, like Joe Buck.
Weren't you telling me the guy that you did that with, the commentator?
I can't remember his name. It's been so long ago. He was a soccer commentator.
Yeah, so he's kind of like Rob Stone. But you were telling me you could see how truly talented he was with doing that.
Yeah,
it was cool hearing you talk about it.
He didn't know anything about bowling, but he was really good from the other side. And so, so what I tried to do was, because if I just let him talk or whatever, he would, say something just wild. And so I was kind of trying to save him from himself, or save him the embarrassment of saying something ridiculous that some bowler with. And I had several people, gosh, that guy you were on with didn't have any idea what he was talking about. But it's still his thing to, set it up for me. And there was too many times where I'd see something happen and I would try to be the first one to talk. And that's not really how to do it. So I'm sure I had a complete lack of experience doing that. He had a complete lack of experience with bowling. We kind of made it work, and we each learned a lot from each other, but I'm sure it was
because you were the color guy,
just
right?
as frustrating for him as it was for me, just in a different way.
Because you were technically the color commentary guy, right?
Well, I guess that's what I always thought. I always thought that it was the broadcast, and then the color commentator was I guess it's the color commentator is the person running the show.
Yeah.
And then the analyst is the one that's the color commentator, basically. That I always thought it was kind of different. So I thought that the color commentator was like the sidekick, or the one that was, supplementing or something.
That definitely would have been a really cool experience. That's something you cherish forever, because that's something you'll probably never do again. You may, but I'm talking like, you might be able to jump in with Flanagan for or something, but that's not TV.
That's not ESPN. So
he doesn't have producers in his ears. He just shoots from the hip. So, but
yeah,
what an experience that is. That's cool.
Yeah, he kind of has to run everything by himself, because he's like managing everything. So,
and he's got switchboards in front. He's got everything. So,
yeah. All right, I'm gonna check up with some of these Hershey's Yangling. I'll save it. Classic Busch Light. Had your car towed all the way out here, and all you guys light beer.
I don't think did we miss him? I'm going through and looking, make sure. Mr. Bill doesn't like Brad Angelo. See, I actually like Brad Angelo. His hitch drives me nuts.
Yeah.
When he won his first title in Omaha that one year, I thought that was pretty special. His reaction was just pure. That he worked so hard to get a title, and he finally got it. I can't remember what year that was, but I don't think I missed anything. Anyway.
Here we go. I've always been happy to pay to watch bowling, but how are they going to grow the service if so much is available for free on YouTube? The service is more for the qualifying. And so that's not the stuff that shows up on YouTube. The stuff that shows up on YouTube is the TV shows.
Yeah.
And so all the extra qualifying, the days and days worth of, hi buddy, you're going to have to move. You're doing a heckin' dangerous. So what shows up on YouTube is the telecasts.
Yeah.
And so the days and days of qualifying are what we get to watch through Bowl TV. So, and then sometimes they had some, for the women, they had the finals, actually. I think the first year or second year or something like that, all the finals were on Bowl TV. Yeah. So they didn't actually have them televised or anything. So it's all the extra stuff that you get to see. What, woof?
Uh-oh.
Has a woof?
There's trouble.
That's woof. My buddy. My buddy.
He's trying to keep my seat warm.
My buddy. My buddy.
Doesn't that everybody just scream Henri? That face?
Yeah. He's ready to tear some stuff up. Speaking of that, before we get too much further into this, we got our Doggo fundraiser and the 2022 recap coming up on Saturday.
This
Saturday, the 10th at 7 p.m. I've got the links and some information in the description for you to check out. The links to donate are down there. Friends and family only, $10 gets you an entry. And then anything after $50, every $5 gets you an entry. So if you send $40, you get 4 entries. If you send 50, you get 10. If you send 100, you get 20. So on and so forth. We have a bunch of stuff to win. We've got 6 or 7 different new balls. We have signed Zen half ball by Frankie, Chris Prather, Spencer, Anthony Lavery Spar, I think. We've got a 2-ball pack of an MVP and an MVP attitude. Just all kinds of stuff. So that will be on Saturday. So at least if you don't want to donate until we get going, fine. We've already raised about $5,000, and we're giving prizes away for every $500 won. And so we're already going to give away 10 prizes already. And then if we get to $6,500, which I don't think we'll have any trouble clearing, Angel's got a teal badger that she's going to add to the mix. And we'll punt. We'll figure something out if we get over that. But we do have 13 prize packages plus the bonus at $6,500. So we're already giving away most of the stuff. So there's already enough in there to where we're giving away virtually everything. And so there's going to be all kinds of prizes available to win.
And you get to sit and hang out with us two and Mr. Shimracker Enterprises for a few hours. Because I'm sure we'll go for a while.
Yep. We'll be doing the drawing live at the end of the stream at 9 Central. And you don't have to be here to win. You can just send money, and we'll send you a message or whatever if you win something. You can win unlimited times. So if your name gets drawn 3 or 4 times, then you win 3 or 4 prizes. So if you send in $100, you get 20 entries. If you win one, then you're down to 19 entries. And so it's not just if you win, you're done. So
just your lucky day.
Yeah, the more money you put in, the more chances you have to win something. So
and we're going to break down our some categories of our ball of the year, shelf appeal, etc. We're going to it's going to be for 2022 releases. I'm going to try my best because I haven't drilled a ton, but I did finally. I think I found something this weekend that's going to get added to that list. So
I'm going to send James something now because I forgot. I'm changing my ball of the year. So
I'm bad. I haven't sent him my stuff yet because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard for me. I don't drill as much as some of you guys do, but
yeah.
Well, I used to, but can really make a difference. Okay, here's an answer that. I'm curious to see what your list is too. So
yeah.
Stuff my neck wrong. Yeah. So did you finish up on that? Or did you any more?
Yeah. I think that's we've explained it several times now, and I've got a video. I've got like a 45-minute live stream that explains absolutely everything. We've done this before, so you can look up the old shows. You can look up the show that I did a couple weeks ago, kind of explaining everything. I've explained it a couple times on this show now, and so I think we should be good to go. So.
And did we ever get in touch with Matt that won the 2-ball pack?
Yeah. He already let us know what he wanted, and that's already ordered. And so,
what did he pick, if you don't mind sharing? I'm curious.
A Zen U and an exotic gem.
Oh,
I think is what he picked.
Zen U and exotic gem. Interesting.
Yep. So,
I'm trying to. I was trying to think about that on the shows. If I was going to pick 2, what would I pick? And I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably do like a reality because the realities are still out, aren't they?
Yeah.
Probably do like a reality and. I don't know, something sharp.
Yeah.
I know.
Are they going to give any discount to existing Bull TV subscribers? No, they're adding content, so there's a whole ton more content than they've already had, and so naturally the price will be going up. Is there a serial code lookup for bowling balls? I think you just have to send an email into the company. There's not any kind of thing that you can get online and do yourself. You have to send in an email to the company.
Okay.
Bull TV will show the RPI in Vegas in January. That's cool.
That's awesome. I'll be watching that. I will be watching that.
Hey guys, good evening. Question: how important does the index finger seem like when I feel it on the ball? I do way better. Is that just in my head? No, people actually move their index fingers around to change kind of how they roll the ball. So if some people really keep their index finger in, and some people really spread it out wide. Sean Rash is one that really, and he doesn't tuck his pinky either. A lot of people tuck their pinkies, but if you watch Sean Rash, he's really got his fingers all spread out all over the place. Some people keep it a little bit more in line. So no, it's not in your head. You might actually play with different, positions.
Yeah, might be beneficial. You might just teach yourself some tricks. No, Luke did not answer. Nope, he has not said anything about Pro Shop stuff.
No, we're kind of working into that. We were taking care of what woof? You say woof?
Taking care of some business first.
Come here, Tweety Bird. Come here, Tweety Bird. Here's rescue dog number 1. She's the one that started it all. This is Meastal dog.
And she always sits and watches and does the show with us.
Yeah, hi, Tweety Bird. You're a nice puppy. You're nice. Oh, boy. Hair's flying. Oh, got into my whiskey. Thank you, sweetie. I know. Hi, Bucko. He's rescue dog number 3. We fostered.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to get it. Angel's commenting here. We'll have to talk about that story. I remember you telling me about that.
Yep.
All right, so
maybe Rash does tuck. I always remember was watching him kind of stand there, and his index finger is always spread way out there. So.
Yeah.
What, buddy?
So what are some of your more interesting things that have happened to you while you were working in a shop? I know you've got some good stories. I'd like to hear them.
Yeah, I've got some good stories all over the place. I will start with this one. So I once drilled a ball for a guy that had webbed fingers. So his middle finger and his ring finger were fused all the way up to his cuticles. And so it was just like one big finger. And so his other hand, his left hand, was normal. But he was right-handed, and he just bowled right-handed. And so you think, okay, well, the interesting thing is I've got to figure out how to, because they've got those finger molds or whatever. So you got to figure out which bit size each finger needs to be. And then they need to overlap enough to where he's got some kind of, ridge in there to, give him some grip. Because if I just make kind of one round hole, that's just awful. Yeah. So he had to have some kind of separation in there. But they couldn't overlap enough to where that edge was going to cut his web. And then you have to make it so I had to figure out the pitches so that both the holes side by side went straight down together. I couldn't have them, funnel either, be too far out this way, too far in this way. So there was a little math involved. I had to eyeball the finger sizes. I had to eyeball the span because you can't get fingers in there. And then on a fitting ball, I had one of those wheels that I kind of put his thumb in and kind of measured it like the way you do for kids when the fitting ball is too long for them. You had that little wheel thing that you kind of
you put your thumb in.
Yeah, so I did that and it worked out. And then I had to hand bevel it because there's no way the bevel sander is going to mess with all that stuff. And so I had to hand bevel it with, I hand bevel Trevor's thumb with a Dremel. I wish I had a Dremel back then. That would have helped a whole lot, but I had to hand do it with a bevel knife. So that was one of the more
interesting. That'd make it so much worse.
Yeah. And so it was.
How many times did you have to move it? So like when it's on with his web fingers, like if you put holes, did you ever have to? How often did you have to stop it and actually reposition the ball in the jig?
I really didn't have to do anything. I got the pitches figured out to where I wanted, and I looked at his hand and I kind of measured, and I just ended up. It was one of those mostly feel things, and he came back in and put his hand in it and said it was great, and so I'm like,
how nervous were you?
I hope you never come back because there is zero way I'm ever going to be able to copy this again. I wrote everything down, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, this is just nuts.
Did he? How nervous were you when he came to pick it up? You had to have been like, holy crap.
I wasn't too bad because he was realistic about the thing. He's like, yeah, I know this is tricky. He's like, just get it close. He's like, I can work with it as long as it's close. And it was actually better than he expected. It was better than I expected.
Did he give you a tip at least?
Yeah, I think so.
If you can nail that, you deserve it.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I can't remember. But it was fine. It ended up going fine, and I never saw him again. So,
was he not a local?
No, he wasn't a local. I don't know if he was just somebody that decided to go bowling with some friends and just needed his own ball for whenever that happened. I mean, he just threw it straight. He didn't really do anything crazy with it. It was a plastic ball that I drilled, like a T-zone or something that I drilled anyway. So it might just have been one of those business guys that was just going out for some fundraiser with his buddies or something and just needed a ball that was because he can't use anything else.
No.
So if he actually goes to bowl, he's got to have something of his own.
That's interesting. I can't say I've ever seen a guy or lady have web fingers like that. Web toes, yeah.
Yeah.
But like
it was wild.
I had to fingerprint a guy at work one time that because he had all 5 fingers, but just off to the left, he had another pinky attached to it. It just kind of dangled. And I was confused as I'm fingerprinting the guy because I didn't know if I was supposed to fingerprint the extra finger or not. So what's some other interesting stories you got? What about a different customer?
Yeah, this is my favorite one because of how just flabbergasted I was.
Okay.
So this guy comes in, a regular league bowler. He comes in and bought a Storm Furious. It was that they had the Fast and the Furious. The Fast was kind of that chrome one, and then the Furious was the dark purple one. Or it might have been the 2 Furious. I can't remember. Whichever one was the purple solid one.
I don't remember.
And so it had orange labels, and so he had me put orange grips in it. Well, a couple months later, he's out bowling league. He brings the ball, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I threw the ball, and it came back without the thumb plug in it, and that's just slug fingers. They used to call them plugs."
Yeah.
Thankfully that's kind of gone away, but they used to call them plugs. And so I kind of looked at it, and I'm like, it was a thumb hole. It fit in. It had dirt in the hole. It was beveled, and so I'm kind of looking. I kind of look at it, and I'm like, I don't think there was anything in here. He's like, no, there was an orange rubber thumb plug, just like in the finger holes. And so I'm like, it wouldn't have been rubber. Are you sure it wasn't like the hard? Is like, no, it was just like it was in the fingers. One of them rubber plugs. I'm like, well, they don't make them big enough. And so he had to go back out and bowl with something else. And I could tell he was getting frustrated because I was, again, I've always looked younger than what I am. And I looked so much younger back then. Now it's catching up with me. Daughters will do that to you, by the way. So
thanks. Appreciate it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, and this guy was probably 50, 55. And so nobody wants a 30-ish. And this was back before I was the manager. So this was probably 10 years ago.
Oh, so you were just working in the shop.
Yeah. So I was just happening to cover that night or whatever else. And I think this might have even been before Jesse bought the shop. This might have been when I was working. No, I wasn't still working for Eric, I don't think. Yeah, because I ended up sending Jesse a message, and I'm like, dude, okay, so I got this thing with this guy. I looked on I looked at his spreadsheet, or I looked, we keep all the drill sheets. Yeah. And so it didn't have a thumb slug on there, just none. I went back and I found the sales receipt, and it didn't have a slug on it. And I'm looking at this, and I sent Jesse a picture. I'm like, dude, and Jesse's like, oh yeah, there was nothing in there. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but he just swears that he's like, well, just go ahead and put something in there. And I'm like, he thinks it's a rubber insert. And so I can't, I mean, I'm going to have to drill this out for anything that I put in there. Yeah. They don't make rubber inserts either that long, number one, or that big that's going to go on his thumb. And I'm like, I just don't know how I can make this guy happy. And that's what Jesse said. It's like, oh, just make him happy. And I'm like, I don't know how to get that done, because what he's asking for is just an absolute straight up impossibility. And so I went, he'd come back in, and he got frustrated with it. He's just like, why won't you do what I'm asking you? I just want you to put the plug back in the damn ball. And I said, I'm trying to tell you, I can't. It's either they don't make a rubber insert big enough to fit your thumb. I can't even give you what you want or what you're asking for. It's impossible. And so I went out and tried to, so after that, he just kind of whatever, he had to bowl. And so I went out there and was trying to explain it to him out there, while I was trying to explain it to his wife too, while he was bowling. And she was just kind of really uncomfortably not even looking at me or kind of acknowledging me. And I think that she was embarrassed because she knew that there wasn't and of course I told him, and nobody found anything in the back. And so it just, I think the guy just got frustrated, and he took the ball. Well, fine, just give me the damn ball and I'll go back. I'll go out and I'll find somebody else who will give me what I want. And I'm like, okay. And of course, it bugged me because logically, I'm thinking, okay, well, if nothing else, sometimes people just want what they want, and you got to make them happy, and then just go back and scream later because it's so awful.
Yeah.
And in this certain situation, like it was just impossible, and the guy just would not. He just would not give up, and I don't know if he ever figured it out and was just kind of embarrassed and didn't want to say, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I get it now. I guess it whatever else." He just had it in his mind on that night for whatever reason that it had an orange insert in there, and he ended up starting to come back about a year later,
Yeah,
to get more stuff. But yeah, that was one of the more interesting ones because at least with some people say what
is he a guy that still bowls local?
No, like I said, this has been a long time ago, so he might still. Because he bowled something like Knights of Columbus. Well, no, he was bowling with his wife. So it was some mixed league on Monday or Wednesday night or something like that. So.
Oh, I'm not saying name drop the guy. I'm just curious if he's still a local.
Oh, I don't even remember his name.
So it's funny you say that. Instead of using slugs, I actually used to use the oval inserts, thumb inserts. I used to love them.
The vinyl ones?
Yes.
Blech.
I loved them.
Blech.
Because for some reason, back then I had a problem where I was squeezing real bad and slugs were tearing my thumb up. So the vinyl ones, I loved them. Man, they were so comfortable. I couldn't tell you, I couldn't do that now. They're too slick for me to do them now. I feel like I'd drop it on my toe. But I will never change from interchangeables again. It's just, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that I won't try it again until I break a few more of them. But I can't help the fact that I can literally take my thumb out of this ball and put it in this ball, and it feels the exact same way that this ball did. Because I've had some inconsistencies in my bowling career with pro shop operators hitting the lines, so to speak.
And that's one of those things that's not difficult to do. That's what really frustrates me. And that I've tried not to do too much from the pro shop side of things because nothing is more irritating than when you have somebody come in and say, "Hey, well, my friend, my buddy that I bowl with said that you didn't drill my ball right," and come to find out it's some little scrawny 150-pound dude that averages 170 once a week and drinks his weight in beer and whatever else. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're not gonna listen to the pro shop guy that actually does this for a living. You're gonna listen to your drunk buddy who has no idea what he's talking about and averages 170.
No offense if somebody in the chat averages 170, by the way.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the other thing that I was gonna touch on too, is that it's just like, but there are a lot of pro shop operators who are not very. There's a lot of people in the bowling industry who are very good at their jobs, but aren't very good at bowling. Chris Schlemmer is not. I mean, he averages $180, $190, 2.0, something like that. He just kind of throws it hard and straight down the side. He's not a competitive bowler, but he's really good at designing them.
So you're saying he's book smart?
Yeah. Well, and on the flip side, you can have professional bowlers that would be terrible coaches.
Oh yeah.
They think, oh, you're a professional bowler, you ought to be able to coach people. Some of them can't communicate. Some of them just understand how to do what they do and have no idea what to do to help anybody else. They don't understand ball technology. They don't understand anything about anything. They just know that they throw a ball, it knocks the pins down.
Yeah.
So just because you average 170 doesn't mean that you can't understand bowling at a big, at a very high level. You just may not have the physical skill to go along with it.
Yeah.
Because that's why you see a lot of the athletes the bigger, stronger people will play physical sports, and the scrawny people like me hide behind a computer. So it's just kind of which direction people go. And, again, just because you average 170 doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So John Lander in the chat, Pete Weber is the perfect example of that. Guy can throw a bowling ball, but he doesn't know anything about ball tech. This is the shape I want. This is what I want to see. Find a way to make that happen.
Yeah, any one of us that are watching this show right now would be a better help to somebody else when it comes to bowling balls than Pete Weber. Just because he's a professional doesn't mean that he knows all the ins and outs about everything.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not big on ball tech myself. I know what I like to see shape wise.
Yeah, but you could probably still
Yeah.
help people figure it out more than Pete.
Now Pete also for so long did you really even need to learn it? No, just I'll throw the stuff. You tell me that this is what I want to see out of the ball, and if it's this new ball, this is what I want you to do. So I'd hate to be the guy on the truck that has to, or one of the. I'm just curious, who lays all the stuff out for Pete when he was on tour?
But
I'm sure Schlemmer did.
That's the thing is now that they have reps and everything, they lay all their stuff out. But I don't know if they had a bowler that was kind of. I'd have to ask Waswa about that because he was out there in the late '90s.
I would assume they had tour reps
actually
back then, right?
In the '90s. Well, they really had players that kind of acted as Dave said that there really wasn't that many people on staff way back when, and so you would talk to the people that were actually on staff, and they would kind of set you up, help you out, whatever else. And so now they have tour reps so that the actual players don't do it.
I mean, companies are having more and more tour reps now. Like Storm's got 3 guys.
Yeah, we got several.
3 or 4 that do like the men's tour, for example.
Yeah, we got Callahan, and then we got Del Ballard, we got Sean Ryan, Matt McNeil helps out. Matt McNeil runs the women's tour, but we've got a handful of people.
Sean Ryan, who's the other one?
I'm trying to remember the 900 Global guy. He's the skinny dark-haired guy with glasses.
Are they even having anybody do it?
They had somebody for Global, and I can't remember what his name is.
Really, I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Brunswick's got a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, yeah, and then at Motive, obviously it's Brett Spengler and Nick Parr, and they had somebody else helping out this year, but I don't remember who it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have no idea when it comes to Lane Masters or whatever.
Steve Jacobs, yeah.
Steve Jacobs. Okay. Yep. See, I didn't realize that Global had their own rep.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Jarris? Is it Jarris or Jacobs?
No. Steve Jarris is like 60.
Yeah, but I didn't know if he was still working for him on the side or anything. He's on staff.
I didn't know that he was ever working for him.
Thank you, Clint. Kurt Pilon, yes. That's who was also doing some tour repping. I didn't either. I didn't know if he... I know who Steve Jarris is. Steve Jarris is another really good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the classic nice guys.
Yes.
But no, I haven't done too much pro shop stuff on the channel because there's nothing worse than having somebody come in and say, "Hey, I was watching this video on YouTube and this guy said that I should do this." But at the same time, pro shop operators, they're getting better, but they're still maddeningly terrible. And the other problem that the bowling has is with people for some reason being arrogant or conceited when it's like, look, you bowl. It's a small industry. You're a big fish in a small pond. Congratulations. You don't need to be condescending and look down your nose at everybody. But at the same time, pro shop stuff is so easy on the surface. It's so easy to hit lines. It's so easy it's not super easy to learn layouts and all the other stuff that goes into it, but you should be able to glue a set of inserts in. You should be able to measure something and then hit the lines. You should be able to plug a ball and then cut it down and resurface it nice. There's some things that just absolutely, especially when you see what goes on. There's a group that I'm in called the Bowling Ball Plugging Hall of Fame, where people share their successes, and sometimes stuff doesn't come out great, but it gives you an incentive to color match and then to finish the ball nice and whatever else. And there's so much stuff that you see that's just sheer laziness. And that's what really gets me. There's not a whole lot in the pro shop world to screw up from just not knowing what you're doing. When you screw up on a bowling ball, it's laziness like 95% of the time. Sometimes there's a few different things, like everybody's forgotten to reset the pitches before they cut a slug off or cut a turbo sleeve off or something. You just get going. You take one bit out, you put the next one in, you start going down, and then you gouge the crap out of the ball.
It's a process. I can understand that. Yeah.
Turbo contract. I'll tell that story in a minute. But that's the thing, is it's hard to not, because as soon as I get up on my high horse and say, okay, well, I'm so good and I'm sick of all these other people being so terrible, then everybody's kind of like, oh, good for you, you being arrogant and whatever else. And I'm like, no, not really, because some of this stuff is just bad, and it doesn't take me saying that it's bad. If you go in and you put your hand in a ball and it's too long or it's too short, you can tell it's bad. If they can't for some reason glue the grips in and they have to cut the tops off them with a razor blade and they're all like this and they're sharp and whatever else, you can tell that's bad. If you get a colorful ball back that somebody plugged black, you can tell that that's bad. So it doesn't have anything to do with me being arrogant or conceited or thinking I'm great and crapping on everybody else. A lot of this stuff is bad at a level that anybody can see and tell.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that it pisses me off because I know how easy it is. Now, there's a lot of experience-based stuff, a lot of tricks and whatever else that you get by experience. And so being a good pro shop operator is somewhat hard. Being a serviceable one is simple. For somebody that a lot of people will hire people and just, okay, read the numbers on the sheet, drill the ball. You don't have to all figure out the layout. I'll do the fitting. I'll do all the technical stuff, the whatever else. All I need to do is put holes in a ball. Yeah. That's not hard to do at all. Pouring ball plug, looking at this color and then figuring out that the plug that you're pouring is not the same color. That's not hard unless you're colorblind. And then you don't want people like that doing it anyway. There's a lot of people that you'd swear are colorblind or just lazy because I just plug everything black. I'm not messing with that. It's fine. It's just whatever else. It's like, well, no, it's lazy is what it is.
I have a hard time when I color match. So I would definitely give it one heck of a shot. But like some of the things you do with plug and how you match that and look at that, and I go, okay, I had no idea green and blue were in that. Like,
yeah,
I'm not colorblind, but that's a simple attention to detail that a lot of people don't put into it.
You would put the effort in to at least try. If you can't, for some reason, match a solid ball like this pink hustle that I've got sitting here, you would have no idea that that's got a crap load of yellow in it. It's probably got more yellow than pink or red in it. Believe it or not.
How the heck do you know that?
But you would at least try. You wouldn't plug it green or blue or black or white or anything else. It might be pinker than the ball is, but it's a whole lot closer than most people get it. Yeah. And to just not even try, or the ones that drive me nuts is when they don't finish it right. So it looks all grainy on top. And then you can see all the sanding marks from where they didn't resurface the whole ball. They just kind of spot resurfaced it and did a really bad job of it.
Yep.
Those are the things that piss me off. So, those are the things
laziness is all that is.
Yeah. Those are the things that should piss anybody off.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. So it's not about thinking I'm some hot shot or whatever else. I am pretty good.
I mean, I would know. I mean,
I am pretty good.
But so I have a question since we're still in shop talk. Since you obviously put holes in things for me, am I difficult in any way?
Nope. Well, that's the thing is somehow some other people have managed to screw stuff up, but that's the thing, as might be what you're leading into, that you've got the span is the same size, it's the same from both sides. You use the same finger grip, so there's no even calculating any kind of an offset because of the grips, the grip thicknesses.
Yep.
And then you've got a thumb sleeve. So all I have to do is drill the finger holes, drop the grips in, measure the same distance from either side.
Yep.
Line the thumb up, drill the hole, drop the sleeve in, and we're done.
Well, and I usually tell you what layouts I want on them too. So
we just kind of go, let's do this. So it's about as simple as it gets. And every once in a while, somebody reads a ruler wrong. That's happened to everybody. But outside of that, it should be really easy to hit lines. It should be really easy to get the stuff right. All you have to do is just slow down, pay attention, and care a little bit. And that's the biggest problem with the bowling industry right now, is that they just kind of sit there and wait for people to fall in the door, and then they act like they actually have to do something. Or when people expect them to do something or hold up their end of the bargain, I can't believe that people run pro shops, bowling alleys as cheaply as possible and, call bowlers whiny or whatever else. But when they go out to a restaurant or they go out to have fun or whatever, they're going to criticize the quality of something else when they're still in the 80s, when they don't have to, they just, people flopped in the door. And, it just, going into bowling alleys is like a time warp. Or just like going to one of those bad, you turn on like Kitchen Nightmares or something like that. And that's what most bowling alleys or pro shops are like. And they don't understand why people just don't want bad service and bad quality and whatever else. They don't understand when people just don't come back.
That's another thing too, kind of to touch on what you're talking about too. That's another thing, as a pro shop operator or as an owner hiring a pro shop operator. Like you said, may not have to necessarily be the best pro shop operator, a serviceable one, but being a people person helps a lot too.
Yeah,
it really does. You've got to be able to interact with the customers. If you're not able to interact with the customer, you're going to lose their business. And they'd be more willing to come back if they had a good experience with somebody. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, and that's how it used to work with. I know Jack Dick here in town didn't. He doesn't drill stuff anymore, but when he used to, I'd have people come in and say, "Yeah, I had a ball that Jack drilled, and it doesn't fit." But they don't want to. He was such a nice guy that they wanted to keep going back to him because he was a nice guy.
Yep.
And they didn't want to upset him, and so they'd try to get me to quietly get it, quietly fix it, or see if I could make it look like, what he did, just that actually fit.
What he did just better.
So that he wouldn't know. But he was a nice guy, and we were technically competition. Yeah. And I didn't like being undercut by him, especially when he'd do stuff bad, but he's a nice guy. So it
still customer coming to you wanting help.
Yeah. And that just, and another thing is you've got to like, I always made it my kind of like a challenge, or was kind of like fun when somebody came in and they were mad about something, just to try to fix it. Do whatever I could to make them happy, and because it's not gonna get you anywhere, make you any points. It's like when people are like arguing politics or something. Like if you just get mad and shout at each other, ultimately you're trying to have a discussion and persuade the other person to your point of view. And so if you're just trying to thug life them or get them or whatever else, you're not gonna make any. That's not making any progress. And so you can feel all proud and happy about thinking that you won an argument or whatever, but did you really win an argument if you didn't get them to at least acknowledge something or to even change their opinion or whatever else? That's not winning an argument.
You're not wrong, though. I never even thought about that, to be honest with you. Like just using your politics, for example, somebody arguing with them, then everybody gets heated, but all you're trying to do is convince the person that you're right about what you're into. Yeah. And to believe what you're saying, and so that they'll believe what you're saying too.
Yeah.
Like, don't you get it? But yeah, I never even thought about it that way. Good point. Touché.
Yeah, and so that's what I tried to do, was just, and I had several of them over the years that I was able to, and sometimes it was my fault. There was one guy this was kind of my fault, but the guy came in and he was talking to me about a couple white dots or something, and then he kind of left, and we didn't ever really settle on anything, or he didn't tell me. He was in between colors, and he said he'd tell me what he wanted, and then he came back in a week later and he said, "Hey, is my ball here?" And I'm like, you didn't order a ball. He's like, "Yeah, we were talking about it last week." And I'm like, "Yeah, I remember we were talking about it last week." And I had some other people in there that I was kind of talking to, and so he just kind of came in and interrupted, and I was trying to, in the middle of talking to him and talking to them, and because I didn't give him the full attention, he's like, "You know what? Never mind. I don't want it anyway." And he bowled league there, and so I finished up with who I was working. I could have just sat there and like, "Oh, screw that idiot," whatever else. But I went out there and I apologized to him. I said, "Hey, I didn't there must have been something lost in communication, whatever else. I didn't think that you decided on the color yet, or I definitely would have ordered it for you. It's like, how about I give you like a $30 discount? Sorry, I don't want this to end badly. Let's just make it work or whatever. And he was actually okay. Especially a discount will make a lot of people happy, which I didn't have to give him a discount. I didn't have to do whatever, but I did win him back because I just wasn't arrogant and whatever, flippant and oh, screw that idiot, or, he didn't tell me what to do or get up on my high horse. And so I ended up winning that situation just because I decided not to be a jerk about it.
It's great customer service is what it is. You could have said, I ain't going to slack off my back, but
yeah. Well, I was right because he didn't tell me what he wanted. He didn't ever tell me to order it. He didn't pay for it. And that's another thing. People would just come in and say, hey, order me this ball. And then they wouldn't ever you'd order the ball. And then you'd have a $150 ball sitting there that somebody didn't pay for, that they said that they wanted, and then they never came back.
Did I ever tell you my horror story in Springfield? I won't name names, but what happened to me down the Ozarks when I drilled 2 balls?
Go for it.
All right. So I went into the shop and we went to go bowl the Greater Ozarks Open one year. And we go down. I always go down, or used to go down early on Friday, and I go to the shop because they run some pretty good deals in the shop there for the Ozarks. And I was just going to buy 1 ball. Man was like, yeah, you can buy a ball, whatever. So I don't remember what the 2 were. I remember 1, for example. I can't remember what. I don't remember what ball. Anyways, it was one of the. It was just sitting there and it was on sales. So I bought 2 balls. Wheeled and dealed with him to sell me the second one for a really good price. Guy comes out and gets me. He says, "Hey, I'm done with your balls. You want to come check them out? Make sure everything looks okay. If it's okay." I go. Remember, I'm a small guy. I've got small hands, obviously. I go in there and I put my hands in it and I'm stretching like this and I still can't even get my fingers in the ball. And the guy goes, he looks at me, he goes, everything all right? And I said, no, man, that's, are you sure this is my ball? Because that's not going to work. And he goes, what do you mean it's not going to work? I said, bro, my hands don't fit the ball. Like I can't even get my fingers in. And come to find out, he drilled these 2 balls for the guy that ordered a ball before me. He put his span on him. And the guy was like 6'6", 275 pounds. I mean, he was a big guy. And I can't remember what ball it was. One of them I got from you. It was a oh my gosh. I just happened to see it sitting there. And it wasn't one of the
Marble Pearl thing that Matt Pace ended up.
Yeah, don't start me on that story.
Yeah.
Marvel, yes, it was the Marvel Pearl. I saw it sitting there and he literally I was like, I just bought this ball for $200. If I buy a second ball, can I get that for like $120? And he sold it to me for $120.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just spent a good amount of money in there. And that was just a horror story because I was so excited for that Marvel Pearl. I had never had one. And all I've heard is so many good things about this Marvel Pearl. And come to find out, not only did he screw that one up, he screwed the other one up. I know exactly who it was. I won't name names, but just because it is closer. So I don't remember if I've ever told you that or not, but I've got other stories, but that one was the one that was like really made me mad. Like I probably could have had steam coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's there's another one where where, In the Zone does their Black Friday sale. I call it Black Saturday because it's always on Saturday. Yeah. And we always, we did it on that Saturday, and it was always crazy busy from 10 to like 12:30 or 1. So for like 3 hours solid, we were crazy. So I had drilled a ball for a guy, I don't know, a couple months beforehand. And so we were just crazy busy. I've got a line out the door. This guy is from Marysville, so 2 hours away. He comes in at like 11 o'clock, right in the middle of the rush. He comes in at 11 o'clock and he said, hey, yeah, I left my ball outside and I left it in the car and it cracked and I need a replacement. And it was like a 13-pound ball too. And luckily enough, I had another 13-pound. It was like a 900 global boost that were really good. But I'm just lucky that I had another one, and I had it in the same color because that was just a popular color. So it was that blue and black one, that blue and black boost. And he came back in. He just kind of walked in and said, "Hey, yeah, my ball cracked. I need to get this replaced." And I'm like, "Okay, but this is our big sale day, and I've got people all over the place, and I've already sold 15 balls. I've got 15 balls in front of you." He's like, "Well, but I drove all the way down from Marysville. Are you going to make me come back?" And I'm like, I mean, you could have called. You're the one that you're driving all the way. You're driving 2 hours. You could have at least called to say, "Hey, are you open? Are you busy? Whatever else. Do you have a replacement 13-pound blue and black boost?" And so I had to stop.
13 pounds?
Yeah, 13 pounds. That's not a common weight.
As I say, yeah, that's just going to be laying around the shop.
Yeah. Because I've just got 13-pound stock laying around. Luckily, I had one because that was a really popular ball, so I had a backup in every weight that they made it in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to stop what I was doing and drill this guy. Replace this guy's ball that had left it out in the cold, and just drove down and walked in the shop. And he was actually upset that I wasn't going to. I said, "Yeah, I've got 15 balls in front of you. I've got a line out the door. This is our big Black Friday sale, whatever else." And he wasn't beside himself really, but he would have gotten beside himself if I would have said, "No, you're just gonna have to come back later." So I had to stop everything I was doing. And
did you guys actually drill on those days back then?
Once people got done, like once the rush died down, I'd go back there and start drilling stuff right away.
That's probably smart to get it off your plate.
Yeah, so if I could get back there, and so because everybody wanted it for league on Monday, that's the other thing is they'd have people come in and buy 40 balls, and, "Hey, I bought league on Monday. Could you have it done before then?" No, because then
I just sold 75 bowling balls. You think I'm going to have time to get that one done? You were like the 68th person that bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you're excited for it, but in answer, somebody asked me to finish up that story. They did replace me. Let me pick 2 of anything in the store. So they replaced the 2 balls, and they did make it right. They did make it right. So I have to at least tell them they're good people in Springfield. Enterprise Park.
Yeah.
So
and stuff happens. Like I said, you get to buzzing through stuff. Actually, one of those years for the blowout sale, I did have something to where I was drilling a ball, and the thumb slug got stuck.
Oh no!
When I was pushing it in, and then when I went to drill it out, it slipped in the cage because we never had a press that actually functioned correctly. So it slipped in the cage, and I was trying to drill the slug out, and it slipped, and then it drilled into the ball. Luckily, I had another one, so I had to go back out. I had to dump that one, and then there's other times where I get the pitch gauge out to replace a slug or to go to plug something or whatever else, and you'd put the pitch gauge in there to see what the pitch was. Well, it had already been reslugged by somebody else, or they put the slug in at one angle and drilled the hole at another angle. And so here I am trying to reslug something. All of a sudden, I'm drilling into the ball instead of drilling the slug out. And there's some stuff that happens, and some plug doesn't set up sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
That has nothing to do with laziness.
No, it's just there's nothing you can do about that. And yes, thank you, Angel. You reminded me of that too. So it was great customer service that they let me pick the 2 balls out of line, but I got a little furious because the 2 balls that including the Marvel Pearl, that I was drilled, the guy that was behind me, they literally sold him the balls and cut the price right in front of me because they screwed it up. So they made double the money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right in front of me. You could have been like, "Hey, man, walk away," and then you do it. But then the guy that bought the balls wouldn't let me alone about it. So it was just a bad situation.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was the fact that he let me get the 2 balls off the wall. I mean, at that point, if I picked a bad ball, I picked a bad ball. So I don't even remember what I picked. That's been so long ago now.
Does he respond? Does he respond to comments When we're not telling stories, generally, yes. What
Who?
you got? Oh, it's just, yeah, I don't, yeah.
We might not have saw it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or seen it, not saw it.
No, I don't, yeah. I didn't remember seeing another comment from him earlier. Yes,
yes, one was the
fun
intense
to come
fire.
in.
Yes, thank you. And I did like that ball, actually.
Yeah.
But I had thumb issues with that ball, so I couldn't throw it as much.
Yeah.
Colin, I think, bought that ball from Discord for me. Colin, and then I don't remember what the other one was.
Here's another one. Having worked in customer service, some customers' expectations are ridiculous. And see, this is another interesting thing, is that sometimes the best thing that you can do to ensure good service is be a better customer. Like, I don't know how many times where I've been in situations where somebody else is having a bad day, or especially at restaurants like we went to Big's barbecue the other day.
The story.
We were filming, and we got done with that, and then we had gone over there on Friday night before league. We were going to go because we were off and we were going to go over there, and they weren't open. So we went to Texas Roadhouse instead before league on that Friday. And so on Sunday, after we got done filming, James came out for a little while, and we said, okay, we didn't get Biggs the other day, so we'll go over there. And they had a fried chicken special, and it took 20 minutes to cook. And so we were just sitting there hanging out, whatever. We were watching football. It was like 1:30 or whatever. They had football games on. And so we put our order in, and then 20 minutes later, still didn't have our food. And the waitress kind of came out looking all sheepish, and she brought us an appetizer and said, okay, so here's the deal. They got done with your chicken and put it on the plate and went to turn, and it all slid off onto the floor. And she was just kind of profusely apologizing. This is the point where people could get, oh my God, we've already been here for 30 minutes, and now you're telling me it's going to be another this long and whatever else. You could just lose your mind and demand all kinds of free stuff. They brought us out some barbecue egg rolls, which were fantastic, by the way. I had a tall beer. We were watching football. We'd just gotten done filming. We were not doing anything. And I just, whatever. We'll try these things.
Let me drink this beer.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm more floored that you didn't eat the sausage that you always. What is it you always get? You got fried chicken?
Normally I get the pork belly.
Pork belly, yes.
I do that all the time, and we eat there probably once a month or more, and so I wanted to try something different. And they happened to have that fried chicken special, and so I decided to just go on ahead and do that. And so, I could have been jerks about it or gotten all flustered about it. I was like, I don't know.
She's probably also
talking and watching the football, and
she was probably also worried too, because with a situation like that, your first thought is great. This table's gonna be pissed off. Yeah. And then when you get there, she's afraid she's gonna get like $1 tip from everybody. Yeah. And she's gonna. I mean, it's you're thinking as a customer service person. Mm-hmm. When you rely on most of your income comes from your tips, I'd be freaked out too.
Yeah, and sometimes
luckily you guys are good people, and because there are people that will freak out on you, 100%.
Oh yeah, I've had that. I've had that happen. Yeah, that's what Angel said too. They remade the entire order because they had her order and James's order ready to go, so they remade the whole table.
That's great because
so it was just give them, because they could have left their food sit there forever.
That's fantastic service. Shout out to Biggs in Lawrence, Kansas, because they actually are fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you can take situations like that and you can turn them around, especially because if you're on the other side, she had no control. Stuff happens.
Yep.
I mean, I've had times where the internet wasn't working. I had to write down people's credit card numbers and whatever else, and other times when stuff just isn't working and they get all pissed off and flustered. I'm like, well, it's not my fault. What do you want me to do? If somebody's being careless or like a server's being rude or whatever else, if it's something beyond somebody's control, or if they're super busy, just empathize and think about what it would be like on their side of things. Or when people yell at the customer service reps over something that has nothing to do with them. Look, I know it's not your fault, but I'm going to yell at you anyway. Or like
Angel said something here. Yeah, I know, right? I get what you're saying. Angel said something about it's not a pro shop story. We don't care. We're talking about it's all tied in anyways.
It is tied in.
I've got to hear this Golden Corral story.
So yeah, we went Golden Corral is kind of trailer park here in Topeka. They are better now. By the way, they used to be really bad. I went there with some people I worked with last year. We just happened to be in town, and they said, "Oh, let's go to Golden Corral." I'm like, "Oh no, let's
chicken fried chicken, baby. That Golden Corral is so good."
But Golden Corral is actually, they kind of revamped the place, and it's pretty good now. We had went there one day a couple years ago, and one of the air conditioning units, or like one or two of them, was down, and so half of the restaurant was hot, and the other half, and people were starting to complain and whatever else. Well, one of the servers, waitresses or whatever that was on that side of the building, was encouraging people, and people would go over there. She's like, "Oh no, the air conditioner's broken, whatever else. Go to the other side of the building where it's cool and whatever else." And so she was losing tips because she was trying to encourage people to go onto the other side of the building and not come over there and suffer where the air conditioner wasn't working. And we said, "No, awesome. We're fine. We're fine. It's not that hot. Yeah, it was uncomfortable, but it's like it's not like it's 80 degrees over here. It's just not super comfortable." We were sweating a little bit, but she was being nice about it, and nobody else was sitting over there, and so she was still kind of working and trying to help out, but she was definitely losing tips. And so we got done. She was great. She was thankful that we sat over there, and so we got up and got out, and we said thanks, and I gave her a 20 for a tip. And at Golden Corral, they don't really serve you. It's a buffet, so you go up and get your stuff, and they bring you new plates and fill up your water, and so it's not really, they don't do as much as waiters or waitresses somewhere else. But I gave her a 20, and so she was in the middle of stuff, and I just handed it to her, and she didn't even look at it. She just kind of, "Oh, thank you, to whatever else," and she stuffed it in there. Well, we walked out the door, and then all of a sudden we walked out the door, and we're on the halfway of the car, and all of a sudden she comes running out of the front, and she's just holding the $20 bill and jumped, "Thank you, I appreciate it," whatever else. And
that's a sweetheart. That's nice. So they just remodeled the one here in town.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Apparently, Amanda said they just remodeled the one in town. So, Golden Corral, I've always liked Golden Corral. You get a lot of stuff. Now, there's some stuff in there that's not good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like their fresh cut meat's not bad. The taco bar's not bad. I've heard that they're doing breakfast now, and I've heard the breakfast is actually pretty good.
Yeah. Fried chicken. Hard to go wrong with
now, Cracker Barrel I like.
Ugh.
Really?
Cracker Barrel pisses me off. No matter every time we go there, they manage to screw something up. I don't know how it works. I don't know how you can screw breakfast up, but they managed to screw breakfast up.
Have you gone to Big Biscuit yet?
Huh? What?
Have you gone to Big Biscuit yet?
No.
Oh, maybe you and me and Angel this Sunday need to go to Big Biscuit because I'm flying solo on Sunday. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a visitor.
Somebody get back from gymnastics?
Yep. My mini-me.
Team
See, I love Cracker Barrel. I love sitting by the fire. The chicken, I was confused with Golden Corral. Golden Corral I do like too, but the chicken fried chicken at Cracker Barrel, oh my goodness.
See, I got chicken fried chicken, but Angel, because her dad likes she takes some supper every once in a while, and she got us chicken fried chicken from the other day. They didn't give me any gravy for the chicken.
That would piss me off.
Come with gravy.
Yep.
They didn't give me any gravy, and then
you have to have gravy.
She got it for lunch the other day, and they didn't give her any gravy either. And then you can't even order hash browns for breakfast. Who eats breakfast? Let's just want some damn hash browns.
Well, my favorite thing is they have grits as a side too. It's like, who the heck eats grits? Come on now. Am I wrong?
Exactly. There's plenty of grits. Comes with everything, and like cinnamon apples, but you can't get hash browns. Oh. Yeah, everybody, you're looking at the 10 years from now, you're looking at the next, like Michaela Maroney.
Don't say that one. She wants Simone Biles. She likes Simone. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Another 10 years.
Simone Biles is going to be more her height because Simone Biles is like 4'10".
Yeah, Simone Biles is like 4'10" or 4'11".
Grits are great, Hossie. I hate grits. They're so gross. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Old people.
Probably gonna be mini donuts.
There you go. Mini donuts is her favorite breakfast item. What about scrambled eggs? She does get up and make her own scrambled eggs in the kitchen. It's cute.
Wow.
It's cute. She does it all. Scrambles everything. Mm-hmm. She does a little help every once in a while, but she does it on her own.
Yep. You have to teach you how to make French toast. You have French.
yeah.
Have you ever had peanut butter and jelly French toast?
Have you?
No.
You make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then you dip it in the egg, and then you cook it like French toast, and it gets all warm and melty and gooey.
Oh.
No, I don't like peanut butter and jelly.
Woof.
Oh my gosh. All right, I love you. Let me finish up.
Woof.
Okay, Dad, love you.
Love you. All right, Luke, there you go. James with another $4.99. More shop stories. Let's hear the Carolyn Doran Ballard story.
Okay. So when the PWBA started up again in 2015, I had just taken over the shop as the manager in there, and we were gearing up because with the field sizes that they had or that they were expecting, all the pro shops at the centers that they went to were going to have to do the pro shop work for them because they weren't going to send the truck. Well, they ended up getting so much more interest than they thought that they were going to get, and so they expanded the field by 20. So originally it was like 96 that they were going to limit it to, but they upped it to like 116 or 115, 120, something like that. And so at that point, the truck decided, well, it's actually worth the money to drive out there and do it. And so one thing that you may not know about this is you think, oh, pros get all their stuff for free. It's when you pay them, you might get the ball for free, but when you're drilling 5-6 balls a week and they pay full price for somebody to knock the holes out. What I mean knock the holes out, I mean just finger hole, thumb hole, here you go.
And they do the rest.
If there's like a turbo sleeve or whatever, they'll install that for you, but you have to bevel your own fingers. You have to install your own grips. You have to finish whatever they did. They drill the holes. That's what they do. And it's like 30, 40, 50 bucks.
It's $10 a hole.
Yeah. And then if they have to do any of the interchangeables or whatever, that's extra.
Yep.
So yeah, or if you have to have a thumb
$20
hole
for interchangeables.
Yeah, if you lose a thumb hole and you have to get a new one drilled, what is it, like $10 a cut or something?
They charge you per cut.
Yeah.
I think it's 5 per cut. I think it's 5 per cut.
So, I mean, you think, oh, they get balls for free, but they are paying street prices to get the stuff drilled.
You basically lose hotel. You think about it, you're almost, to have a ball drilled, you're almost paying for a night of a hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they get free stuff. Well, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. It's just I'm just trying to go along with it. Yeah, it's not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They make their money off it.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously, they're not going to send a frickin' semi-trailer out there and set up a generator and whatever else and then just charge them like $10 to drill a ball. That's not going to happen.
So, go ahead and finish up with the CDB.
So, and of course, Jesse wasn't happy about this because he was envisioning thousands of dollars that we were going to get from drilling balls for the women for the few days.
Yeah.
And so they brought the truck out, and so then we were just going to be supplemental to the truck. If they needed other things done or whatever else, they were going to have us do some stuff. Well, my Brett Cooper came in, and he said, "Hey, can you drill a ball for Carolyn?" And I just freeze instantly because I'm like, God, Carolyn, please, not that Carolyn. Any other Carolyn? And I'm thinking, I'm like, shit, that's the only Carolyn. Like, there is no other Carolyn. And so I said, yeah. And he's like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I can totally nail the ball. I'm not worried about that.
It's just a freaking CDB.
Yeah. So he said, he's like, yeah, she was getting an IQ tour drilled, and the guy in the truck forgot to reset the pitches before he cut her sleeve off, and so he just gouged the living crap out of the ball right in the palm. Huh? No, it was the tour because they ran out of them after that. They could.
Right,
no, it was the tour. It was the blue one. Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
No, it was an IQ tour because I remember drilling. I remember this very because
looking for the box.
Yes, the box because that's later on the story. But it was an IQ tour. It was a tour solid.
Speaking of tour, I can drill one of those.
Yeah, I need to drill another one myself. But so he's like, yeah, she drilled it. He cut into the ball, and it's right in the palm. and it just pissed her off. And so she didn't want him to do it. And so he's like, well, she wants me to drill her one in here, but I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I've got to leave tonight. And so if she makes the cut, you're going to have to drill stuff for the rest of the weekend. And so you just go on ahead and drill this, and we'll tell her that I did it, and, we'll all be fine. And so the other problem was that
Brett that said that?
Well, so this was actually, it might have been I ended up drilling more stuff for. But the thing is that I was halfway through drilling it, and she came in to say something to him, and he was just kind of standing there watching me, and then she went out later and whatever else. Well, they got done with the blocks. I sent it out and hit all the lines, and everything was fine. And so they got done with the blocks. They finished with qualifying for the day, and then she comes in and marches right up to the desk and said, "Did you drill my ball today?" And so I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know. She's like, no. Did you drill my ball today? And I said, yeah. And she's like, okay, great. It was perfect. Can you drill them just like that for the rest of the weekend? I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do it. And so this was the IQ Tour thing. She had drilled an IQ. She had the one that screwed up was an IQ Tour. Well, they couldn't find another one. And so I think that's probably what I actually drilled. The first ball was an IQ Tour Nano.
Okay.
And then so they found her another IQ Tour, and she brought it into me. Yeah, they found it somewhere. Yeah. And so she brought it into me, and she's like, "Can you have this ready for me by tomorrow morning?" Because, she made the cut. And she's like, yeah, I'll knock it out, whatever. And she's like, okay, when you're done with it, just take it in the paddock, set it on the table or whatever else. And so I drilled it and put it back in the box and stuck it on the table in there. Well, I come in the next morning, and I'd helped the guy in the truck had some problems, and so he came in and got me first thing in the morning. Yeah. And he said, "Hey, you want to come out and tour the truck and whatever else?" He's like, "I'm going to give you some stuff. Thanks for helping me out yesterday. It was crazy. It was busier than I thought it was going to be, and whatever else." And he was cool about it. And so I got to go out and see the truck. Well, Angel calls me in a panic while I'm out in the truck, and she's like, "Carolyn's ball's gone." And I'm like, "Oh no." And I'm like, I knew I should have just, she said put it in the table on there, and I knew I should have just kept it in the back and then given it to her this morning, because I was going to get there way before she was going to need it anyway. So it's like, oh no, because I don't, and it was definitely the last one that was there. They were even surprised that they found that one, because they thought that they were all gone, and they managed to find one more. And I'm like, oh God, it's gone, and now it's going to be my fault or whatever. And so I walked in there, and it was on the table, but she had been looking. She had another ball in an IQ box.
Oh, okay.
So she was just looking at the wrong box. And so I found it. Everything was fine. It's like, okay, whatever. And then she had me drill another one, and I even on this one I left a note in the box because they scribed it off.
Yeah.
So the measurements didn't work out, and so I'm like, gosh, I can hit the lines, but it's not going to fit. And so I left her a note in the box and said, hey, the scribe lines weren't entirely accurate, and so I didn't hit the lines, but the fit is right. And so she came in afterwards, and she said, oh, thanks so much. Everything was great the whole weekend. Let me get you signed up with our Turbos Extreme Dealer package, and I'm going to get you a staff contract and whatever else. And so that worked out, and that was pretty cool. And I got to stand in there and talk to Dell for a little bit while he was laying some stuff out. And yeah, she was just great about the whole thing. She's still my rep, and I don't talk to her as much as I should, but I imagine with somebody like that, I'm like, I don't really have anything to tell her other than, hey, YouTube's going great, and I'm advertising.
Oh, we talked to her. You talked to her not too long ago. Actually, didn't you talk to her about the show or something? We were going to do something for the show.
Oh, yeah, it's been several months. That's probably
it's been a while, but I think that's probably the last time you talked to her, right?
Yeah, I really only talk to her about once a year when it's contract time. Otherwise, I don't really need anything.
It's coming up, by the way.
Yeah, I don't need to go out of my way to send her stuff just to feel cool because I can drop her name or actually send her an email or a text or something. She's so freaking busy. I'm like, the best thing I can do is just leave her alone.
So fun fact: Luke and I are both with Turbo, obviously. So she's both of our reps, so it's kind of nice. She's really nice. She's just a really, really, really busy person. So.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is that just terrifies you because she is such a Type A personality. She's so busy and she's so on top of it that she can't afford to have anybody else that's not as invested as she is.
Yeah.
She just if you're not going to go at my speed, you just need to go away.
Yeah. She also does a good job still staying active on social media with Turbo too. I'll give her that.
Yeah. It's just.
I'll give her that. So shout out to Turbo 2-in-1 grips. #driven to bowl.
Yeah.
And it was fun. So you got it there, and then I got brought on as a player product representative. So I actually had to go to the shops and actually be a salesman. So
yeah,
I actually worked for Turbo for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was fun. It's pretty easy. You get out samples. You do this, you do that. Answer the questions about the product. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's fun to do. I get to wear the logo. The mirroring thing.
It's a sharp logo.
I love it. It's pretty. So I need to get some more patches so I can wear some t-shirts, some cool t-shirts from time to time.
Yep.
But
what else you got?
I didn't know if you wanted to touch anything before we go any little. I can go another 10 or so.
Yeah. I was gonna. Okay, where is that?
We took about 10 minutes of rabbit trails. So
yeah, where the hell is?
And by the way, yes, Angel was working at the center the time this was going on with Carolyn Doran Ballard and all that. So she worked at Westridge at that time.
So we could, unless you got another story.
I don't know.
We could talk some. So there was an interesting bet on FanDuel. So the Saints are playing the Buccaneers tonight.
Yeah.
And it was plus 2,500 for each team to score one touchdown, at least one touchdown and one field goal in both halves. And so I threw $10 at that, and I'd make $250 if each team scores at least one touchdown and one field goal. So they'd have to go 10 points, basically, 10 points apiece, first half, second half, and I win $250.
Did you do it?
Yeah. Well, for $10. I mean, that's what I we'll see. I don't know the game. I think the game has started, but yeah, it's on the Saints Bucks game tonight. I don't know. I haven't even checked yet.
Look,
been rambling.
Yeah, you know what? It's been kind of fun actually sitting here talking a little shop because I know you enjoy your shop days.
Oh yeah,
I know you do, but you don't. I get it. But at the same time, you got your good customers. You also got the same people that's like, this guy's walking in the door. So I get it. I know you enjoy doing the bowling thing. It's bowling it is something you like, something you love. I mean, it's the most frustrating thing I do in my life, but it's when you get to do it and get paid to do it, you get a different outlook on it. Sometimes it can drive you away. It's 3-0, by the way. So somebody's got a field goal.
No, actually, it's 7-3 now. The Saints just got a touchdown. That's the one I wasn't counting on.
Well, there you go. Yeah, probably just got to have them get another one.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. They got the one for this half, and then the Bucks have a field goal. So all I need is a touchdown of the Bucks and a field goal out of the Saints, and we're at least through the first half.
Oh my goodness, we're getting the bad stuff again.
Oh, come on. There's 7. Come on. It's 7-3, and there's 7:30 left in the second quarter.
Have a little hope, would you? How much left in the second quarter?
7:30.
Oh,
there's 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
I love you, buddy. I'm not feeling it.
There's plenty of time for the Bucks to go get a touchdown, the Saints to come back and get a field goal.
Did you see the way the Broncos lost the game last week? Holy crap!
That actually made me some money.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, that and the Seahawks came back late.
You're running around on Sunday. Oh, the Broncos are actually going to win a game today. I walk in the bar with 1:50 left, and the Ravens are driving with their backup quarterback. And then I sit there and watch it. They get to like the 4-yard line, and I walked away and I said, "Oh, this game's over."
Well, because that was the easiest bet of the day. Baltimore was like -400 to win the game, and so I put together a 4-team parlay of just impossible favorites because I wanted to make some easy money. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to lose. There's no way the Cowboys are going to lose. There's no way the Eagles are going to lose. There's no way, whatever else. Just so all these big numbers, and I put together a 5-team parlay, and it was only like plus 250. But of all the ones that I was sure of on the day, it was the Ravens beating the Broncos, and then Lamar goes out, and then it's like 9-3 with 2 minutes left in the game, and I'm like, okay, well, this is every time I bet money on anything, any amount, it doesn't really matter. I could take the easiest thing in the world. It could be like Patrick Mahomes to get over 100 yards passing, and he would get injured in the first 30 seconds or something. That's how my luck goes with
Did you
betting.
see what Sunday is, by the way?
Say what?
Goodbye to too much useless non-bowling chat. We're pretty much done.
We literally
Talk bowling
just
for 2 hours.
We talked bowling for an hour and a half, and we just started talking football literally 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So goodbye to you two.
Yeah, we literally talk bowling for an hour and a half every Monday.
Yeah, we're getting ready to close the show down. We're finishing up our beer, and I just wanted to talk about
Sunday night, Broncos Chiefs. I'm ready to get my butt kicked.
Yeah. That I will. Well, I'll tell you what. I will bet on the Chiefs to give you guys a shot.
Please do. I beg you. I beg you. Oh, and Missouri, Kansas play each other in basketball Saturday. So right before I get to your house, that's what I'll be doing. So anyway. So what time do we start? 7 o'clock on the stream on Sunday night? Yeah, 7 o'clock Sunday night. So do you, while we're live here, do you need me? What is there a certain time you want me there to get there to do we need to stream prep much?
No, I think there shouldn't be a whole lot to set up. I don't think. So we should be fine. I think that all we'll have to do, I'll make sure that we have beverages, of course. I'll get James a case of water or something.
I'm flying solo. The daughters and wife is in Tulsa, so it'll be me flying solo. We're gonna have some fun though. I'm looking for. I'm really looking forward to it. I had a blast last year, and I'm bringing my Santa Claus hat back again. By the way, just so you know, the Santa hat is packed, ready to go.
Yep.
So I'm not expecting everybody else to wear one because they were really freaking hot. But
yeah, you'll have to wear your Broncos jersey.
Oh, the one from Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, you bet your butt I am. We're playing the Chiefs.
Since you got that.
Now watch. We're gonna win this week.
Yeah. Hopefully I've got my I ordered that new Black Label stuff. So hopefully I've got that new sharp Black Label shirt.
Those Storm Black Label thing, the hoodies and the shirts, those are sick. They're gorgeous.
Yep. I'll go ahead and put that up now while we're talking about it and kind of winding down the show.
I guess it's going to be that way. I got to do the angle. It so gets me every time.
Yeah.
I wear my canoe jersey. Oh, yeah, you should wear your canoe jersey.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to be the most miserable person there wearing orange and navy. You should wear the canoe jersey. And then
I can wear the cat jersey. I don't really have anything fun yet. I've got some credits left to burn before the year ends, so I've got to find myself something fun. I got the cat jersey, which is fun, but
every time I wear that Broncos jersey and I walk into a bowling center in Kansas City area, I get so much crap.
Yeah,
so much crap, and I embrace it. But it's the navy blue shorts that go with the navy. Have you noticed that yet? Because it's so. I
did notice that.
Oh yeah.
Your toenails were pink, but.
Oh no, my toenails are teal.
And
glittery. Yeah. Yes, I let my daughter paint my toenails. My big toes.
Yeah.
She asked me one night, and I finally looked at her. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'll let me bowl good tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. Let's get it.
It's part of being a girl dad.
Yeah. So what are you drinking again? Blanton's, you say?
I was drinking the Blanton's, the single barrel whiskey. About $250 a bottle, actually. I put that away. Now I'm having Early Times. It's a cheaper whiskey. It's only like $20 a bottle. So just something to sip on. But that was what I started the show with. Hey, once again, thanks again for everybody for hanging out with us. You guys are still hanging with us when I'm looking at numbers, and we appreciate everything you guys do hanging out with us every Monday. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the shows.
Yeah, glad you guys stick with us through all the non-bowling talk.
Yeah, because we really.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bite my tongue so we don't get demonetized.
Didn't talk enough bowling on a hangout drinking show tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, we enjoy just sitting back drinking cold ones. And...
I have to show something for everybody that stuck around.
Okay, yeah. If you stuck around, you're still hanging out with us. Let's see something cool. What do you got? I'm also saving the driving time tonight, so I can chat a little longer too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do really appreciate everybody that watches and hangs out with us every week because I personally really enjoy this show.
Angel got me an early Christmas present. Bowler's Mart had some Black Friday sales, which I really should have promoted more. But I've got this Roto-Grip Attention Black Pearl that I really like. The core is the Momentous core, which we don't have here stateside, but it's 253, 053, 011. So it's basically like the UC3 core, the UC2, UC, the Rubicon core. It's basically the same numbers. Very similar to the tensor core that was in the Insight 2. So Bowler's Mart was running specials for Black Friday, and they had
a lot of overseas bowls. Yeah.
That was on sale. This is the Attention S. Okay, I got to move the beer.
Oh, is this the one we were? Yeah, this is the one we were showing off last week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
No, I just got it here Friday. Well, no, I got it.
Teal? Is that teal? Is that
what? This is the Phase 3 teal. And then it kind of looks like a Phase 3 meets a Halo Pearl. So and it's really the pour is really cool.
With the lights, it looks like it has eyeballs.
Yeah.
No, I was saying we were showing off. Remember last week we struggled to try and find the pictures of it, and we finally found it.
Yeah, I showed it off because I said I was getting one.
Yeah. And I appreciate you, Brian. Thanks, man.
Attention S. This is the same core, so it's basically the UC2, but it's got the E-Trax Plus Pearl. So this is the RSTX2 cover on basically the Rubicon core.
That's pretty good stuff.
So
that's solid.
Doing a heck of an excitement about this one. I like my overseas stuff, and I really like that Attention Black Pearl. So, and
that's cool.
Since I was gonna get some UC2s, but they discontinued it, and so this was the next best thing, and this was actually even cooler. So,
heck yeah, that's cool.
It was $180. But
I did want to remind everybody tonight too. Because I got to thinking about this because when I sent something to you because you wanted to do that custom for me, and I got to thinking about this. Anybody that ever wants to have like our patch, like our logo,
the logo or whatever,
it is Coolwick. All you have to do is send the design an email and say you want the Breakdown Pair logo. I have it on a jersey, a couple jerseys. So if you ever want to do that, make sure you take a picture and send that to the Facebook group or just message us so we can see it. We appreciate it. That one right there in the top right corner. Mm-hmm. You can get that on your jersey.
Yeah.
Just because
got Panda Pack logo.
Yep. You can also get the Panda Pack logo is on with
Brewing Company logo. That's trademark.
Actually, we should. I put it on a jersey. I don't care.
Yeah, I'd actually thought about that before since we used to have Norseman stuff on the show. I need to get back to starting to get because he's got some really good stuff. I need to get into stopping over there. It's just they're closed. I drive right by there, so I could stop on Mondays on the way home, but they close on Mondays now, so I'd have to get out Friday, Saturday, or something. Actually, that's the other thing is I've actually going to start doing lunch there on Fridays, so I get done with work on Fridays at 10:30. They open 11, so I can just head down there and hang out and write for a little bit, and then.
Food. They've got some new food options that look good.
Yeah, they got some fried calamari. Trevor got something drilled a couple weeks ago, and I was there writing a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Hey, I'm over here. I'll be home about whatever." And he's like, "Well, I'm getting off at such and such." So he just came over. He had the shrimp po' boy, so that was really good.
Over at Norseman?
Mhm.
Really? Jealous. They need to bring me back the tomato soup. The tomato soup grilled cheese was.
Yeah, they had a turkey stew that was. Gosh, now we're not talking bowling again. So I better finish. I better pound this thing and get out of here
No, we're talking Norseman.
before I have to block more people.
Oh gosh. Now if I can just convince Jonathan to try the RSTX3, I've never ruled it out.
Yeah.
The Defender Hybrid was a gift, and I will. Luke, you has to admit the Defender Hybrid looks good in my hands.
Yeah. That actually you bowled really well yesterday.
Yes.
You threw it really good until you got to game 8, and you're just it's like, yeah, we're done.
We were done anyway.
I'm done. Let's get out of here.
I was frustrated.
You threw really, really good.
I should have chased it left more than what I did. If I would have jumped to the left, like it was a big jump. Like I'm talking like 6-7 boards. If I had jumped like 6 or 7 boards, it'd have been a different story. But no, it was a good day. I haven't thrown it that good in a long time. I mean, I was going 238, 245, 238, 220, 230. It was a good day. So it felt good to throw it good for a change, and I'm pretty excited about that. I just got to remember to block that last game out because I knew it was over.
Yeah,
and build off that.
So, yeah. Just think about the other 7 games where it went
hands
well.
Getting in the right spot. It was a big thing, and I've made some changes with hand position, and it's really starting to pay off.
Yeah, you got through it really well. You
noticed it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was visibly different.
Okay.
So
perfect. Even Dylan said something. He goes, "Oh, Big Daddy's bowling good today."
Yeah.
Big Daddy figured something out.
Yeah.
No, you should try putting it right for the 4th area halls. You were right in the right part of the line. Yeah.
Yeah, I did get a video. That's on the slate for shorts. Either I was going to do it today, but I was busy at work.
Oh, you're good.
That's
on the. You went in the Facebook group.
Yeah, I did put it in the Facebook group. That's going on YouTube here too. So.
Yep.
Everybody else.
It's definitely encouraging. So we'll say that.
Yeah.
I did fall out of the shot. I'm sorry. You need to play the fine tricks to play straight all the time game, to play strength, but not to be someone you are. Yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes that's one thing I think I have a problem with is when it comes to when I know in my head, okay, Jonathan, it's time to jump left.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be right. I kind of my brain kind of does this.
Yeah.
And says, no, I'm going to be stubborn. I'm going to stay right. But no, I need to jump left. Because my fill ball that last game, I don't know if you saw, but I jumped like 6 left and it buried 10 back. And I'm like, Jesus, here we go. Just a frustrating finish, but it's okay. It's all right. It's encouraging. I'm excited, ready to move on. And I think we finally found something. So
I
actually can strike again.
Yeah.
With my 5 revolutions.
Yeah. Yep. Things are looking up for me too. So I'm going to try to get back into the tournaments a little bit more.
Oh, and I'm making spares. That's another thing I'm doing again.
Yeah. That's usually pretty good because it was like that for me. There was one Thursday that I missed 6-7 pins. I left 8 of them, missed 6 of them. Just got the yips. One of them might have double tapped the 5 pin on, and it's like, oh god.
I know this may sound funny, but I was actually missing 10 pins quite a bit, and it was due to something I was doing with my hand. I was getting like really lazy, and then instead of staying inside of it and just keep my hand there, my hand was doing this.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I'd get there and I'd elbow it instead of just getting through it and throwing it the pin. I'd elbow it because I didn't want to ditch it or something. So
so it's exactly what I was doing, and I noticed that I'm like everything I'm missing. There's just like that much left. I'm like, what are you doing? What is going on? You don't miss this freaking spare. Just get up here. It was also a big tempo thing. I've noticed that too. I've really focused and told myself I shoot at corner pins, especially 10 pins. Just my hat. There we go. Just slow down. It's really on my first step. Is the big key. If that first step is a little too long, too quick, I'm gonna whiff it. It's gonna happen. So.
Yeah. Well, Tom Patton was sitting there talking about that. He was talking about, he told James not to overthink things, and we got a good chuckle out of that. And then he said, he's like, I just try to keep it simple. He's like, I noticed that, all I have to do is worry about my first 2 steps, and if I got a good tempo, and then just kind of trying to get the ball somewhere around the pocket. He's like, I don't care too much, how I throw it or whatever else. I'm just trying to look for a general shape, keep my first 2 steps at a good tempo, and then get out of the ball clean. And he's like, that's just let everything else work from there.
You get the ball to, I don't know, the best way to word it is if you keep the ball in play, it doesn't matter if you throw it bad or you throw it good. If you can find a path to the pocket every time you throw it, you get where I'm getting at. You're giving yourself a chance. And that's what I did Sunday, for example. Is it didn't matter if I got one, I go, oh man, I got around that one too quick, or I got a little lazy at the bottom. But I let it go and I go, oh, that's at least gonna give me a chance to get 9.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So It was a good day, and it was probably, honestly, for you, it's probably the best time you see me bowl since Tulsa a year ago. So it's been a while, and it felt good. I'm excited. So I'm looking forward to next weekend for the grand finale.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're bowling?
Yeah. I'm bowling the grand finale, and I am sticking with the lefty thing. The righty thing is not going to happen. It's just not good, and the lefty thing is actually turning around. So
I think once you commit to it, you stay with it.
And that's the thing is I think that the little righty experiment did kind of help cement me. That's like, yeah, this was terrible. This is why I just said I'm screwed. I'm switching hands, and I'm done. And I started getting frustrated with the lefty thing, and I'm like, I just want to go back. And then now I think I'm good to keep going this direction. Again, it's actually looking up. I've shot my high set before 2 weeks ago for the year. I mean, we're almost already bowled half the year. My high set was like 650. And I shot 730 something, 650, 660, 710. So my last, you know, I've had 2 700s in the last 4 sets after not shooting anything over 650 all year. So,
and honestly, Sunday, I think Amanda and I could have been a different result. She left a lot of 7 pins. Holy crap! You can definitely tell that building has brand new pins. Because, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, there's just the 7 pins. I notice it myself. Is if I hit the pocket a certain way, even on house shot on Thursday nights, I know it's off my hand. Oh, that's 7.
Yeah, if it's a little high flush, Angel does that all the time.
That's what the light swishing hits. That's what she gets. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that'll happen too. But Angel gets the stone 7 pins, which when everybody else leaves drive-by 9s, she has stone 7s.
It has to be the new pins.
It's just weird.
Because I've left them a bunch. Now that I can see that they're breaking in more because I actually get them out now. I was getting them out Sunday at least, and it may be because the pattern we were bowling on, it had a little. The ball was a little more sharper off the spot, but I don't know. I have to throw something with surface early there, and then when we get to like game 3 on Thursday nights, I have to throw something cleaner.
Yeah.
So, shoot, I switched to the RST. I went to the RSTX too yesterday, late. That was not the right ball. It probably was. I needed to move left. And that's my problem is I get so stuck in stay right as long as possible, and I get so scared of moving left. I've also got to remember, I'm not bowling on twister pins. It's wood. I can get left. It's okay. The twister pins, anytime I bowl on twister pins, the further left I go, the more 10 pins I leave. So I try to stay on top of it as long as possible. And it's something I've got to work through myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental thing, but it's all good. If you finish with your beer, we can kick it off.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we going ahead. Whoops.
Right. So we're going to have a show.
Oh, yeah. We'll have
next week
and for the next 2 weeks. And then
we're taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah. And then it's basically the day after Christmas and then New Year's Day or the 2nd or something. So it's the day after New Year's and then the day after, the day after New Year's, day after Christmas. And then I think we'll have the other 2 weeks off because Chris is going to be here for 2 weeks. So that'll be like the 2nd. So we'll be off the 26th, the 2nd, and then Chris gets here on the 8th. So we'll be off the 9th and 16th. And so it'll be a few weeks before we get back on the show. We've got the Bowlers show coming up on the 11th. Of course, we got the fundraiser stream coming up on the 10th, which is this upcoming Saturday, and then we'll have the Bowlers show on the 11th, which is this upcoming Sunday, and then we'll have a breakdown pair, and then we won't have the Bowlers show on the weekend of the 17th, 18th, because that's the grand finale, and then there's a doubles tournament, and then it's Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and we have a tournament on New Year's Day. That's the scratch. That's the scratch tournament.
Definitely have to be a part of that.
Yeah, and then we'll have the 12th we'll have a show, the 19th we'll have a show for this one, and then Bowler's show will be the 11th, and then January 8th, and then the fundraiser year-end recap. So again, it's not we do a bunch of stuff with the recap. It's kind of the final night of the fundraiser, but we're gonna pick some bowls from different categories. We're going to talk about our top 10, top 5 all time, whatever, but we got like ball of the year, underrated, best shelf appeal, worst ball of the year, whatever else. So
looking forward to it. We have a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. So
it's going to be, once again, Luke, myself, and Mr. Shimwrecker Enterprises, and James Nippon, to be exact. And we're going to sit around and hang out with you guys and have fun and raise money for a good cause.
Yep. So, yeah, once again, Rosedal 10 or Haas 10 for Coolwick. We've got our group, the breakdown pair on Facebook. We got 1,000 members. We're pretty close to it. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, too. We'll have to put a little bit more on there. Maybe I'll put your video that I took from Sunday on there.
Oh, yeah, throw it on there. I don't care. Whatever.
And then
you posted it in the breakdown pair.
Yeah. So I already posted it and if you need to send us anything, if you have a longer question that you want to ask, or if if something you don't want to put out there in the group publicly, then you can email us at breakdownpair@gmail.com. I've also got we got a Discord server at Storm Nation that's searchable now. And then I've got some Patreon options. We got all kinds of stuff on the member side of the Discord, and I have YouTube memberships now too. So,
and I promise at some point, I've been working on we're going to have some Coolwick breakdown pair stuff from Coolwick. We will do it at some point. T-shirts or something.
Please we got.
Love you guys.
Yeah, we got to come up with some designs and get some stuff done. So,
honestly, even if we just throw our logo on a shirt.
Yeah.
We need to. Oh, I got an idea. Do our logo on the front, on the back. It says #Team Luke, #Haas.
Yeah.
Team Haas. That would be fun, just to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Yeah. Sweet. Oh,
something different.
Puppies. My puppies.
So,
oh, it's coldness. You guys, coldness. Where are you at?
What are you
Tweety
doing,
Bird.
girlfriend?
You doing Tweety Bird? Hi.
But love you guys. Thank you so much. Happy December, since it's first Monday of December.
Yep.
And I think we're going to go ahead and sign off. I'm sure Luke's hungry.
Yep. I'll go get a snack and get some nap time, and we will. Yeah.
I'll be back next Monday, and we'll be together. Sorry.
Yeah. And we will see you on
Saturday night.
Yep. Saturday night. Thanks, everybody. We will give you the outro with the intro, and see you next time.
Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have it. No. We'll talk about that one more.
Terrible idea.